talking. You are now listening to The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kahlil on the One Podcast Network. Let's get it.
From NJ2B Canada World, it's The Box Out here on the One Podcast Network. My name is Kahlil Thomas. Joining me in a few minutes will be Jason Kahlil from Brooklyn, New York. Thanks so much for watching, whether it's live, whether it's the replay of our show. Thanks so much. We appreciate your support. Our opening tip tonight, we're in championship week of college basketball, a few days away from Selection Sunday. And listen, there are a lot of bubble spots still up for grabs. And I will say this. With Miami of Ohio losing today to UMass in the MAC tournament, I think the quarterfinals, it kind of opens up a lot of scenarios now. Because we'll get to Miami of Ohio in a little bit and if they deserve to be there and the talk of them not being deserving of an at-large bid, even though they went 31-1, but beside the point. I feel like and there's so much talk about expanding March Madness and adding more teams. We're at 68 right now, making it 72, 74, 80 teams. I think those are some story about 108 teams. There's 325 D1 schools, so that's like a lot of schools to be in the tournament. I feel like we need to fix the current system now before we get into, hey, let's fix this. Hey, let's kind of maneuver these things around and add more teams to it. Because I feel like right now we're looking at a situation where, and I'm going to bring the bracket up in a little bit of what Joe Lunardi from ESPN is saying, what Mike DeCourcy is saying from Fox Sports. And you kind of see the same issues with college football than you kind of see in college basketball when it comes to tournament time. So many of the big power conferences are dominating the bids. And they're dominating the at-large bids. And they're dominating those bubble spots because there's still this bias, especially in college basketball, when you've seen mid-majors advance. If you think about a Butler or George Mason in Norfolk State, you've seen mid-majors come alive in the NCAA tournament and make a lot of noise. But for some odd reason, the tournament committee, who are mainly consisted of ADs from Power 4 conferences. Used to be Power 5, but Pac-12 disappeared, whatever. But they're mainly made up of Power 4 conference ADs who are looking at these smaller schools saying, well, they didn't play anybody. But let's look at the resume of an Auburn team that had a losing record in SEC play. Okay. So you look at an Auburn team, 17 and 15, I think 17 and 16. Losing record in conference play, yet they're in the conversation over a Miami of Ohio who went 31-1. Well, listen, 31-0 regular season, lost the conference tournament game today. So look at the regular season. They went 31-0. So let's not look at them. Let's look at the under 500 Auburn Tiger team because they're in the Southeast Conference, and God forbid the SEC gets nothing. The SEC got to get everything. And Auburn, coached by Nepo Baby and Stephen Pearl, who got the job from his father, Bruce Pearl, who has been the main pundit saying, oh, Miami of Ohio does not deserve to be in the tournament. 68 deserving teams, and blah, 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 blah. So the Nepo Baby can get in with a losing record in conference, but a 31-0 team, I don't care what conference you're playing. You went 31-0. You went undefeated in your season. And it came out as the season went on and people were kind of starting to pay attention to Miami of Ohio that they actually tried to get Power 4 teams on their schedule, even offering to go to these schools and say, hey, we'll come to you. We'll play you on your home court, which happens a lot. Smaller mid-majors go to a big power school, get paid, six figures to go get their asses kicked. But they were unable to get those games because those teams were scared to play Miami of Ohio. So because Miami of Ohio was so good, those Power Four teams kind of like cowered and didn't want to have those games, even as home games, not neutral site, not going to Miami of Ohio, whose campus I don't remember the name of the city is in, whatever, it's in Ohio somewhere. They were scared. So you look at a resume of Miami of Ohio compared to that of, an Indiana or an SMU or a trying to think of another bubble team. I mentioned Auburn, Stanford, Cal. Obviously, their resumes are going to be a little better because they're playing in the ACC, the Big Ten, the SEC, whatever. Obviously, the MAC is not, a big conference. You have pretty cool teams. You have Akron, you got Miami of Ohio, you got Toledo, you got UMass basketball, not football. UMass football blows. But yeah, these power teams were scared to play the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio, which brings us to this situation now where you have this team that's 31-1, and people are like, oh, at best they're like a 12 seed. Even they went 31-1, 31-0 regular season. So I feel like you're looking at a situation where, once again, the power conference is overtaking the mid majors, and college football is a little more difficult to kind of maneuver that. Right? It's kind of hard. James Madison went to Oregon and got the brakes blown off of him, but then you have Boise State a few years ago that just went on the streak of killing teams like Oklahoma and Alabama. So, for the most part in college football, the mid-majors don't really compete really well against the power teams. But in basketball, especially the NCAA tournament, you have evidence. You can go back. You have case studies of mid-majors making runs. So going back to Gonzaga, when Gonzaga first kind of appeared on the map back in late 90s, early 2000s. And then you had the George Masons, the Norfolk States, and you had, Loyola Chicago, or Sister Jean, and you have this record of teams making these runs, and it seems like the NCAA is still just like, you don't belong here. How's that Jason Courtney? What's up, Jay?
Not much. How's everything?
Everything's good. Talking about the unfairness of the NCAA tournament committee. Miami of Ohio lost today, which was not a good thing for the argument. So now
they're only lost, right? They're only lost.
So 31-0 regular season, lost the first game in their conference tournament. So now the conversation starts. Should they get in? Should they get that large bid? What are your thoughts on Miami of Ohio?
They definitely should have got in. I thought the body of work was very well. Here's where, and I was never a big fan of you lose in your conference tournament. It should, in any other tournament, any other league, it doesn't really default where you should make the tournament or not. Like if Duke loses tomorrow night or later tonight, they're still going to be a number one seed because of the body of work they put foot out there. So I look at them. I look at a Miami, Ohio, and I look at like a LIU, where had roles been reversed, I think they would have let LIU still advance, probably be like a 14 at best because they lost. So I think that's probably where they're going to be penalized, where they're probably going to be one of these teams we see next Wednesday. Is it the play-in games?
Yeah.
So we'll probably see them play again next Wednesday, which I don't think is fair. But I think they would definitely get in.
Yeah, I think the problem becomes the conversation is always going to be, hey, the mid-majors are always going to get the bad rap. We talk about the college football playoff, how there's so many people, whether it be, pundits, whether it be analysts who are like, why is James Madison here? Why are insert lower ranked? So it's Tulane in this. They don't want them in it. And I feel like college football, you have an argument where, those smaller schools have a hard time competing against Alabamas and the Georgias and the Oregons. But in college basketball,
they still earn the right.
Yeah, you have this historic nature of the tournament where you have every year, you have one mid-major usually who just making the Sweet 16, make the Elite Eight, and you never see it. So the idea that they're talking about expanding the tournament, and you have the expansion essentially going to benefit those Power Four conference teams and kind of cut out those mid-majors again.
But not only would it help the power ranking teams, but you look at like Big East. We said what 3 teams at best are probably going to make the tournament. Yeah. So now you're kind of like you're going to reward mediocrity in these conferences, which is not fair to these other schools out there.
Yeah, I'm just confused on as I'm trying to do something real quick and it's not really working, so I'm gonna stop before I hit a button that I should be hitting. I want to bring up the bracketology from Joe Lenardi from tonight, actually. Just updated. And apparently he has messed that up completely. I gotta learn how to use this thing. Apparently he has Miami of Ohio, and I want to get this right. 11 seed against Wisconsin in Greenville, South Carolina. Is Miami of Ohio an 11 seed? That's my question.
They're not, but since they didn't win the tournament and you penalize them for that, I would have put them still like an 8 or a 7. I wouldn't have put them an 11. But because they're not the major, this is where they're going to place them. And I bet you even that 11th is probably still be a play-in for the spot. So it's unfortunate.
And the only thing is, I feel like this is going to really kind of take a lot of teams out of the running for any type of big games against Power 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Those big teams are not going to want to play. So Miami of Ohio said, hey, we put ourselves out there and said, yo, we will come to you, play you on your home court, just give us a game.
They want to take that. They want to do it.
No, nobody wanted to do it because, a team like Miami of Ohio needs a resume builder. And they didn't have it, which strength of schedule sucked. Their palm ranking sucked. Because of that reason, they were stuck playing. I think they played 3 games against D2 and D3 schools.
Oh, damn.
Which is not going to help you straight the schedule by any means. So a 31-0 record sounds great, but then the committee's sitting in a room right now like, well, they played like yeshiva. It doesn't count. So I just don't know how we fix this, especially with expanding the 72 teams or 78 teams or 85 teams that they talked about.
But now putting them as an 11 seed, doesn't that kind of protect them a little bit? Because if let's say they became a 7th or 8th, now you're kind of exposed a little bit, where you're playing someone who had probably a better strength of schedule than you. At least here now as an 11th or a 12th, they're a little protected where, depending on their showing of the game, you could justify them being where they're at or not.
Yeah, it has an 11, based on this projection, 11 seed. They get Wisconsin, which I think is a winnable game for them. They will take on the winner of Alabama-Troy. And I feel like Alabama, especially I think the game they played against Arkansas a couple weeks ago, there's holes in Alabama that they play a lot of zone. And I think if you can shoot well against Alabama, you can beat Alabama. I think Miami of Ohio kind of fits that bill. They shoot pretty well. So I think that would be a good game. Whereas if you're a 7 seed, you would get, a UConn in this region. So you're right
for that.
Yeah, and you're right. So they are protected. You can correct, but I just feel like 11's probably going to be their high water ranking. I don't think they're going to get any lower than an 11 seed.
Yeah, which is fair. I think it's fair.
And the other problem becomes, and I'm looking at this, I want to bring it up. I'll have this fixed next week because I really got to learn how to use this damn thing. The SEC gets 10 teams in, Big 10 gets 9, ACC 8, Big 12 8. So already that's 16, that's 26, crazy. That's 35 bids already out the door before you even look at the other automatic bids, you look at any at-larges. So, like I said, the Power of 4, SEC, Big 10, ACC, Big 12, dominating the bracket, which is only going to get worse if you expand this tournament.
Yeah, it's like at that point, and what's the purpose of having a conference tournament? If the top 8 teams in your conference are going to make it, just say the bottom 4 are not.
Well, and I think that's the reason with expanding the college football playoff. They're like, well, if we expand football playoff, why are we having a conference championship game? Because we lose the conference championship game, we don't get kicked to the playoff. So it's like,
or you win the conference championship game like Duke did, and you still don't make the playoffs, which was crazy.
That's a whole conversation. ACC football is the shits this year. It's so bad this year. The other part of this is interesting too, because you look at someone like a Duke, they're definitely going to get a top seed in the NCAA tournament, but you got major injuries on this team. And we look at kind of, once again, a football comparison. Florida State lost Jordan Travis, their quarterback.
Everything went
Everything with the shit. Still undefeated, but did not get into the college football playoff because the playoff committee saw you're not good without Jordan Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Could these injuries that the players they may not be back for the first round of the NCAA tournament, could these injuries affect Duke's seeding somehow? Even though it shouldn't, could it affect it?
I don't think it'll affect it too much. I think at worst case, instead of being the number one overall seed, they'll probably drop to they'll still be a number one, but they'll be like, they'll play out in the West. They'll be the fourth of the four number ones at best, at worst case scenario, but it shouldn't affect them too much. And if anything, I think Duke will coast. Even with injuries, they'll coast to the Sweet 16 minimum.
I mean, what the problem becomes too is like, should injuries really dictate? Yes. Should injuries really dictate seeding? If you played well all season, why the hell are you going to sit there and be like, look, your two stars are out. We can't really use them. That's not good. I think that's kind of unfair as well.
Well, it's like, you figure Michigan's probably going to be a number one seed as well. So you figure now in this case, they're down two players. Are they still that much better than Michigan? Probably not. So I think in that case, Michigan should probably be the number one overall seed. Or if Arizona has a good showing in their tournament, that might trump them of being. It's all about where they're going to be seated. And I think overall number one, they're not going to get that. I think it'll probably want to go to one of those two schools instead, because barring any more injuries.
So right now, this is from Joe Lunardi, updated about 2 hours ago. Mm-hmm. Duke is the top overall seed. SMU will be the last team in. Auburn, first team out. And I said this in the open before you got on. Auburn pisses me off because here's why. Bruce Pearl.
They look bad against Alabama the other day.
Well, here's the thing. Bruce Pearl retired, quit, whatever. Gave the job to his son, so it's a Nepo hire. They went under 500 in SEC play, 17-16 record, I think now. And you're actually going to consider a 17-16 under 500 in conference play team over, and I wrote an article about this last night, over Seton Hall, 20-11, 20-10. Actually, 21-10 now because they won today against Creighton with a 10-10 record in a very tough Big East.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the logic. Once again, SEC, big conference. Who gives a shit about everyone else? They're SEC, so it's a tough conference, even though they went 7-10 in conference. This is something really, really fugazi about all of this.
It's all about that money, man. It's all about the conference pride.
So
I don't think the Big East gets the respect as it should, considering UConn has won a few championships here and there, and I think St. John's is going to have a good showing in the tournament as well.
So here's Lunardi's ranking. Duke is in the Greenville, South Carolina region. Duke, Siena, Miami, TCU is in that ranking. I'm always curious about Yale. Yale's the one team every year. I'm like, who are they playing? There's an automatic first round win for me all the time. St. John's a 5. Now, St. John's has Seton Hall tomorrow. Seton Hall needs a win. They've lost against St. John's twice. They lost against UConn twice. If Seton Hall beats St. John's tomorrow, do you think that, because right now they're not even on Lunardi's record list of first 4 out, next 4 out. Do you think a win over St. John's helps Seton Hall at least get into this situation here?
Yes, because if they beat St. John's, they have a legit shot at winning the Big East tournament. Because I think UConn's vulnerable right now, and that would place them in the tournament just by proxy of winning it. So they have everything rides on tomorrow's game. Everything.
NC State one of the last few teams in. NC State lost to Seton Hall early this year. So how was NC State here and Seton Hall is nowhere to be found?
ACC.
Like it's so blatant. And this is Joe Lunardi, so obviously, I think he's thinking like the committee's thinking. So I'm not going to shit on Joe Lunardi because Joe Lunardi's thinking like the committee would think. But NC State, UCF, Santa Clara, because they got the championship of the West Coast Conference, they lost to Gonzaga, and Miami, Ohio would skip the first 4, which would be big. If Miami, Ohio doesn't have to play in Dayton that Tuesday or Wednesday,
that's huge.
That's huge for them. That'd be a big thing. But then you look at a team like Missouri, you look at Texas, who had a shit season, complete garbage season. SMU, compared to the way they were last year, had a really bad season. And then you look at the first 4 out, Auburn sucks. Indiana lost yesterday in their first round game in the Big Ten tournament. I think they're like in that 19-11, 19-12 range. New Mexico, I don't think they really competed a ton in the Mountain West. And Oklahoma, a product of the SEC once again. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where, like, you look at, cool, UCF, Big 12. That's UCF, we should be American. Oh, the Big 12, that's where they're in. VCU, that's A-10. Okay, well, the A-10's going to get no one in, them and maybe somebody else. And in Texas, once again, like Oklahoma, by virtue of the SEC, you're going to get in. It pisses me off that we're at this point where we have to keep talking about this for every college sport about conference bias.
They just assume because of the bigger the conference, the better the players, better the coaches. But that's the wrong way to go about things. But it's never going to get fixed. It's only going to get worse.
I'm hoping one day it does. I'm hoping one day it all just like everyone figures it out and goes, it's kind of fucked up. We should probably fix how we do things. But you said it. It's the money. You want those SEC fans to travel. You want the ACC fans to travel. There's no telling if Miami of Ohio fans are going to come out to Greenville, South Carolina, if that's their place, or they go to San Jose to play at 10 o'clock at night on a Thursday. There's no way to assume that it could happen. And just sucks that way to fix it.
That's the only way to fix the problem. Like, it's going to have to be one of these mid-majors to just dominate everybody and make it to the Final Four or the Elite Eight and have a big showing to, But then they'll only get rated the following year in the talent pool and coaching staff as well.
So to answer the question, is Miami of Ohio worthy? I say yes. Do you say yes?
I'll say yes.
Okay, so hopefully they're in. Real quick though, we'll be back on Sunday too. Our annual March Madness bracket reveal Sunday 8 p.m. We'll have our brackets out.
We're gonna be doing our brackets on
live on air. I might have them done. Wait, every year I can't do this on air. I can't do this on air. But I'm gonna fill mine out before. I won't put you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to fill it out before. I gotta see how these matchups look.
And then obviously when we're on at 8 o'clock, that's when the women's bracket is revealed as well. So when we reveal in the women's bracket, as ESPN does it too. So we'll talk about the men's bracket that we would already complete it, and then we'll talk about the women's bracket that's being released, has live on air. So at Sunday 8 p.m. we'll be right back, turn right back around. We have to talk about Bam Adebayo. And so Bam Adebayo had a damn good week. Scored 83 points. His teammates was feeding the ball. Just said, hey, take it, big fella. A lot of conversation about it. Before we start talking about it, what are your thoughts on the Bam Adebayo 83-point game against the Washington Wizards?
Don't laugh. I mean, you're gonna get a good chuckle out of this, but my immediate thought after the game was, damn, when Bam and Asia have their child, the basketball DNA in that child is gonna be insane. I didn't think he was gonna get 83. However, when they said he had 41 in the first quarter or first half,
31 in the first quarter.
When he had 31 in the first quarter, I was like, he's gonna have a big game. Maybe 55, maybe a double nickel. I was expecting 83, but the way 40 free throw attempts is unheard of. That's crazy. Washington should automatically be rewarded the number one pick after that showing. But I thought it was an efficient game. He had way too many shots that he needed, and then they kept feeding him the ball down the stretch. Sproul didn't take him out. He was like, fuck it, I'm gonna let him get it. And people are butthurt because he clips Kobe. And Bam's not a scorer like Wilt and Kobe. But I mean, hey, listen, he's a professional. He had a good game. I'm sure he got drug tested immediately after the game. And everything is fine. I mean, this is today's NBA. No one plays defense, and the Wizards didn't really try to stop him. A la 40 attempts at the free throw line. So it is what it is.
Who would have thought Bam?
Listen.
The headings for our show on YouTube was Bam's 80 points, legitimate or Fugazi. I'm gonna say Fugazi. The 83 points for Fugazi.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
43 foul shots, 4 foul attempts. He took 22 threes. He was gunning for 100. I think once he had 31 in the first quarter, in my head, I'm like, he's gonna try to get 100 points tonight.
But that's the thing.
Like
but that's the thing. If he has 31 in the first quarter, and we know the Wizards are a bad team, you didn't think he was going to get maybe 10 or 20 in the second quarter, 20 in the third, 20 in the. I mean, the blueprint for 100 was there.
And it's funny because everyone's like, yeah, because they played against Washington and Washington's bad, and Kobe played against Toronto and Toronto was bad, and when Wilt got his 100. They were 10 games on the final. Yeah, we understand that. And that's what makes, and I'm sorry, I know the Wilt 100 is like this big deal. This is this holy grail. The Wilt 100's Fugazi, the Bam 83's Fugazi, the 81 from Kobe's Fugazi. God bless Kobe. That was Fugazi too. Unless you're playing number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference and you drop 84 points, I will legitimately give it to you. But when you have a starting lineup from the Wizards averaging the average age of 22 years old with a team that's legitimately tanking. We got AD, we got Trey, and we're going to try to get a top 3 draft pick in the same situation. It's Fugazi, and I don't respect the 83 points. Yes, second best night in NBA history. Cool. Fugazi.
But in the back of your minds, you couldn't believe Bam pull the 83 before Asia could pull the 61.
Listen, I think Asia's going to hit like 70 one night. I'm convinced. I think Becky's like, just give Asia the ball and let her go. I mean, same situation with Bam. The problem with this is now he's second. And listen, this game's going to be debated and discussed. And it's still being talked about today. Like, we're talking about it now. Yep. It's one of those things where he's the second highest scoring person in the NBA in a game.
It's crazy.
And it was just not a good game. And it was not 20 of 43 from the field, 7 of 22 from 3, 36 of 43 from the foul line. You got 36 of the 83 from the line. I got to look at Kobe's numbers. I forgot to bring him up and see what his line was. But yes, you got to make the shots. I got it. Fuck that. I don't respect it. I don't respect
it. Or the fact that you guys are up like 25 in the fourth quarter and you still have them in the games because you want to have that record. Things like that. Yeah, I could definitely call it Fugazi.
All right, so Kobe's 81 shot 28 of 46, so he shot 61% from the field, 7 of 13 from 3, and 18 of 20 from the foul line. So a lot of foul shots, not 43 foul shots, but he still shot 61% from the field. He shot over 50%.
Right.
Bam didn't do that. Kobe was surgical with his 81. Bam was just just stay in the game until a minute 2 left in the game and just get those points.
To be fair, Tyler Hero wasn't playing in the game, so they had no other option. He was option A, B, and C. To be fair,
the only thing that 83 points did is help Bam get lucky with Asia that night. God bless.
Hey, like I told you, man, that love child when it comes.
Welcome back, Bruce. I know Bruce was out of the country for a little bit. Welcome back. Thanks for coming in.
Welcome home.
Any professional athlete is capable of making history at any given night. The professional athletes, we can't relate. No, we can't. I admit that we can't relate. But
I've tried it in 2K. It just doesn't happen.
Listen. I played intramural basketball at college, and I hit 2 threes in a row. That was my night right there. I was done. Another shot the rest of the goddamn game. It was over. So, yeah, we can't relate. But they knew what he was doing, and they fed into it. Eric Spoelstra and the Heat, and just kept feeding the ball, feeding. Watched him with their shitty team get fouling, and then we end up with 83 points. And now people are like, oh, was that the best performance in basketball history? No. Not even close. Let's cut the bullshit talk. It was a game that had nothing to do with anything. The Wizards already eliminated. They're trying to fucking bow out and just get a good draft pick. Miami knew what the deal was, where they're playing the Wizards and playing a bunch of rookies and 21, 20-year-olds from the capital city go-go G League team they got, and that's what it was. Let's be honest.
Hey, you play who's in front of you.
God,
shout out to Indiana Pacers. You play who's in front of you. Let these teams tank, and
Bruce. Empty calories. That's what it is. Those 83 points were damn Twinkies. That's what that shit was. 83 Twinkies. So I know last night we talked real quick. You said there's some Knicks slander that you want to talk about?
Yes, I'm very upset with our pundits out here. When the Knicks won against Denver, I was like, it's 40-point victory. The only problem is it's a Friday night. So there was no Stephen A. He ain't tweeting about it. He's tweeting about his political aspirations. I mean, Skip ain't around to talk about it. There was nothing. There was no commentary about the Knicks shellacking in Denver. Fast forward to Monday morning after the Knicks lost to the Lakers, who have been playing very well without LeBron, but that's getting swept under the rug as well. All the slander about all the Knicks are not a good team. They haven't beaten anybody. Why do we traded 5 picks for Mikal Bridges? Brunson's a liability. Cat's out here being soft. Mike Brown's way in over his head. And I'm like, what? And I looked up their record against the West. It's actually well above 500. And like I said, the Lakers have been playing better. Overall, I think in the last 20 games, the Knicks are still like 15-5. Like, I don't think the sky is falling, but the media will make you think that. It's like when the Knicks win, it's quiet. When the Knicks lose, it's extremely loud. And I think there needs to be some fair biases around the board with that. Like, Detroit's coming off a losing streak. Boston's been playing very well. Yes, but the Knicks just went to Boston 2 weeks ago and smacked them up. Swept them to the rug. Oh, when they beat the Spurs. Oh, the Spurs are playing. They're playing a back-to-back. It was a 12 o'clock game. The Laker game was at 3:30, which was kind of weird for a Sunday. That should have been a primetime game, but that's neither here nor there. I just hate the hot takes. It's so easy to pick on the Knicks, as if they weren't in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I just think the difference between last year's team and this year's team is they're actually healthy. Yeah. And I think going into I think they're healthy, and I think they're not to say complacent and bored, but I think they're ready for the real thing to start.
I think you see that. I think we're hitting that point of the season, and Detroit blew a 20-point lead to Brooklyn at home.
At home. Yeah.
Everybody's kind of going to go through this swoon. With the Knicks, it's not so much a swoon where it's just this up and down, back and forth seesaw thing. They play really well, and then they play really badly. They play really well, they play badly. Then there's 2 games that look like garbage, and the next 2 games look really good. And I think you're kind of right. I think they're ready to get the play. Like, can we just get over it and get to the real thing? Vincent Goodwill wrote an article for ESPN today saying 5 things they got to fix. I'm like, oh, God.
Here we go.
Maximizing Cat. I'm like, okay, but Cat needs to maximize himself. Getting Jalen Brunson back on track. I'm like, okay, but he's struggling. He's tired. It is game. What game are we at? 72? Like,
we're right there.
We're at that point of like, okay, everyone's getting worn out. Everyone's getting tired. Everybody's still playing 35 minutes. No one's being sat. No one's playing less minutes. The only one playing less minutes is Mitchell Robinson for a reason. They're trying to keep him fresh, get him ready for playoffs, so they don't want to They don't want to lift his minutes crazy. He's playing 19 minutes a game, I think, this in February.
Yep.
And it goes up every month, which is fine. Hunker down on defense is another thing. They play great defense. They've had a couple bad games. I feel like you're right. There's this rule like when the Knicks win, we expect them to win. Or excuses. Oh, so-and-so wasn't there. Oh, so-and-so it was load management for Wemby or whatever. Like whatever the excuse can be. When they lose, sky's falling, which affects us as fans because they were like, is the sky really falling? Like, is it really bad? And we start freaking the fuck out.
Right.
thinking the worst. And then we're back at this shit again on Thursday nights, thinking that we have the worst team in NBA.
Like I said, I was very upset when that Denver game happened on a Friday. I was like, damn, Couldn't this have been Sunday? This could have been Sunday or Monday game where they had to eat that crow the next day. But I think they're ready. They're ready for the playoffs. They're ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, I just don't understand how I put a wild week for the Knicks. So that's what I feel like. This could be the heading every single week for the last 2 months for the Knicks. It's just this,
mm-hmm.
and it's frustrating as hell. It's very frustrating to watch them. But I know when the playoffs start. Right now, it has a 3 seed. Where we get Miami and the 6 seed, which doesn't really make me feel good because Miami still for 20 years of my life, Miami just scares the hell out of me.
Bam ain't getting 80. I'll tell you that much. He ain't getting 80. No, he ain't getting 60.
Mr. Robinson get a couple teams before he lets him get an 80 piece on him. But I'm very curious that. Just
wait, you don't think Knicks gonna catch? You don't think Knicks gonna catch Boston? I think they can.
I don't. Let me see.
2 back. Boston got Oklahoma tomorrow.
Let's see. Yeah, 2 back. Game 67. So they have 15 games left. They could the tiebreaker. They could catch him. I can look at the schedule real quick and see what it looks like. Because I think we hit the stretch of like crazy, and I think it kind of calms down a little bit towards the end. Let's see what we got here.
I know they got one more game against OKC.
All right, so Indiana, Golden State, Indiana again, Brooklyn, win. Washington, win. New Orleans, win. Charlotte, OKC, Houston, Memphis, Chicago, Atlanta, Boston, Toronto, and they end the season at home against Charlotte.
Shit, those Charlotte games gonna be tough.
Charlotte games gonna be tough. Toronto always plays them tough. Boston gonna be tough. Atlanta's not gonna be. I feel like April 6th, that's the 4th to last game of the season. Mm-hmm. If the playoff spot's clinched and the seeding's kind of set, I think I can see them kind of start pulling guys out for that Atlanta game. Chicago's a mess. They're going to win that one. Memphis is a mess. Houston's kind of not playing the best basketball. Maybe you can catch them at the end of the month. Mm-hmm. OKC's OKC. We just lost to them. Another Charlotte game, March 26th, New Orleans. So you have a stretch of Indiana tomorrow, Golden State Sunday night.
You got to win that one. No Steph.
Indiana again. And in Brooklyn, Washington, New Orleans. So you got 6 games that you. 6 games you should go 5-1. I'm gonna say you're gonna lose to Golden State. I'm just being
without Steph.
Golden State still freaks me out. I'm still gun shy with Golden State constantly. They should go 6-0. They should win the next 6 games. But
right.
I do feel like there's going to be a slip up in here somewhere. If it's not Golden State, it's going to be Indiana. And it's probably going to be on the road against Indiana tomorrow night.
After Indiana just came in the Garden a couple weeks ago and beat them. So we'll see. We'll see where the focus lies.
So I think they could catch Boston, but I think they need to kind of figure out. I was put the rotation's still the problem too, because once again, we talk about how Tibbs never played guys. I think Brown's like, now I have too many people.
Yeah.
The riches are crazy at his team, and I don't know who to play. So I think that's the other problem that he's facing too, because in the playoffs, you would do a 9.
I would do 9. I would do 9.
Right?
I think you have to do 9.
Even you might go 10 if you get kind of like, we'll bring you up. But then of your 10, and I really want to see, does Deuce is probably not going to come back in the playoffs. I think he's probably going to be done for season. Your starting 5 is going to be Cat, Brunson, OG, Bridges, Hart. That's your 5.
Hart or Shamet, yeah.
Shamet off the bench. I think that works. Shamet off the bench. Alvarado. Mitch. That's 8. Shamet's 9.
No, we said Shamet already.
But you still got. Did I say Shamet? No.
Yeah.
Wait, Hart. Wait, hold on. Hart. Hart, Brunson, Cat, OG, Miles. That's your 5.
Mhm.
Shannon, Mitch, Alvarado.
So then that 9th spot is either Dewar or Clarkson.
I might have question touch the floor. Probably Diarra.
Yeah.
But then it's so I guess Sochan might be out of the rotation. I don't think he's caught up to anything yet since he came in.
I mean, unless he's we're gonna need those 6 fouls.
But I thought because you pick up a Jeremy Sochan not so much for offense, but you pick him up to D guys up.
Mm-hmm.
I thought him coming in, you don't know the plays. You don't know what the hell we're doing. We just need you to D guys up. I think that could be your 10th guy. Like you said, we need 6 fouls. Hey, Bridges might need a breather. OG might need a breather. 6'8" guy, come in your wing. Go get Tatum. Go get Tyler Hero. And you got 5 good minutes going on him. And then I can imagine him and Alvarado on the court at the same time defensively. That's crazy to me that you could have an Alvarado, a Sochan, and interchange OG and Miles on the floor at the same time. An OG, Miles, Mikal Bridges. I don't hate that. I don't hate that idea.
It's a lot of wings you got. A lot of wings, I like it. I like it. This is why I think they match up well against Cleveland, Boston, and even Detroit come playoff time. Especially, I've been watching Detroit lately. They have nothing after Cam. Maybe you'll get a Robinson sighting, but that's it. They have no scoring, and I think they will get exposed. If not in the first round, but definitely in the second round. I don't see Detroit making it to the conference final.
No scoring, and what they do is kind of muscle you into
submission. Yeah.
And they go like Detroit back in Lambeer and Mahorn and Sally. They offensively, Detroit Pistons were not a good team when they won those 2 titles, but they frustrated the shit out of you. They made the baskets they needed to make. You had Isaiah, you had Joe Dumars, you had Vinnie Johnson, you had Adrian Dantley for a minute. Those guys score, but outside of that little crew they had, they just bodied you up and frustrated the hell out of you. That's what Detroit does now. You got Cade and you got a couple other dudes that kind of pop in, but then you got the 8 centers you have on your roster just beat guys up and knock them down.
It would not surprise me if everything holds to serve where out is now. If they see the Cavs in the second round, the Cavs knock them out because I think the Cavs are a horrible matchup for them.
Horrible bench. The Liberty has a better bench than the Knicks, according to Bruce.
You talking about the Knicks or are you talking about Detroit?
Some of the Knicks. The Knicks.
The Knicks have an efficient bench. We're not dragging these guys 50 minutes a game. They know their roles. The bench know their roles, except for Clarkson, who he has a green light all the time.
The Sage Steele of the NBA.
Wow.
I need more context on what that means, bro.
I would have said the Houston Rockets are the Sage Steele of the NBA.
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to hold off on that. But are the Rockets good? Because I'm just going to figure out if what they are, and I don't know who they are yet. I know they're 3 seed in the West, but I'm not feeling Houston at all.
They're good. They should have been in the market for a point guard. And since they didn't get a point guard, I think this is where they're going to run. They're somewhat like Detroit. Same situation where they don't really have Cade's their scorer, Durant's their scorer. Segun gives you some rebounds, some scoring, but that's it. Mm-hmm. Everyone else is just athletic. And that could only take you but so far. You don't have a true point guard. Losing Fred VanVleet really hurt them. If he was there, I think the offense wouldn't be so stagnant and things would flow more efficient. But because of that, they're the Raptors of the West.
So I got more context. Looks decent, but we need to know that this disappoints you, just like Miss Steele. Got it now. I understand. I have to get the whole context of it all, but now I got it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they're all a bunch of Republicans.
The Rockets are the Michelle Tafoya of the NBA. Not because they.
What the? Wow. I mean, MAGA, same alignment.
Listen, Bruce coming in hot. Bruce has been off 2 weeks. Bruce is getting in there.
Ow.
But yeah, I mean, the Van Vliet injury, I think, screwed him up because now you're playing Amen Thompson at the point, which ain't great. But then you also, obviously, Durant's going to get your points, and you're hoping that Jabari Smith scores on a nightly basis, and Eason scores on a nightly basis, and you're depending on Reed Shepherd to hit a couple of shots. It's a lot of praying with the Rockets, and I feel like in the playoffs, you need at least 2 guys that you can depend on to score, right? As much as the Knicks stink, Brunson and Cat can give you 30 apiece. OG gave you 30 the other night. You have options. The Rockets, you got KD and Sengun. I'll put Sengun up there, but I think Sengun is not consistently going to give you 25 points a game.
No. He could be very up and down like Cat, so we'll see.
So I'm very curious about this whole the Rockets. The Rockets are about one team. You've been watching a lot of Detroit. I've been watching a lot of Houston. I'm like, you have no picks. So obviously Houston traded their picks, kind of giving back the Nets after they got the Harden trade a couple years ago. So you don't have the picks to move, but you couldn't move Terry Eason for a point guard to help you out. Like at some point, you got a shit ton of wings and centers, but you don't have a point guard. That's your problem.
Point guard. You should have convinced Chris Paul to come.
I think that ship has sailed officially. Chris Paul. I think he's done with that. Real quick, WNBA season still in the balance. We had a deadline of March 10th. We passed the deadline, and now they're having all-night negotiation sessions after the deadline expired. So,
hey.
Apparently, I want to bring it up what the offer was. According to a source within negotiation, the league latest proposal feature a salary cap starting at $6.2 million, up from $5.75. That will continue to grow over the life of the deal. The average player compensation is projected to reach $570,000 in year 1 and $850,000 in year 6, while the maximum compensation will come in over $1.3 million in year 1 and nearly $2 million in year 6. So obviously the money's going up, but
not fast enough.
Both sides are still light years away from each other concerning money. But they're meeting. The best part of this is they're like, okay, let's get serious, which pisses me off because you should have been serious this whole goddamn time and not wait till the deadline week to start sitting and hammering out a negotiation in the middle of the night. Now, both sides have foobarred this whole situation.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna start the season either late or we're not gonna have a season, and that's gonna be a shame. And they need to hammer whatever they got to hammer. They need to hammer it now before the NCAA tournament starts, because when that ends, and we had a great showing from the ladies, people's attention are gonna go like, "What the hell is the WNBA doing? Why is it not capitalizing off of this?"
And the problem becomes, and they said the ratification of this deal, if it comes to agreement, could take weeks. You got to get all the players. Some of the players are already left. Unrivaled's over. So a few of the players are already went overseas to do their commitments. They're playing Team USA. They're playing with their countries. So, but then you have to have a 2-team expansion draft, free agency for most of the league, and the draft, with training camp set to start April 19th. So we're a month out from training camp starting. Before we do all this other stuff that should have been done already up before the draft, now we're stuck. The players are fighting with each other now, saying that they're not being included. Only certain people are part of the conversation. No one's really talking to each other. And it's like some like the offers from the league, some don't. Now, in the league, love this shit because now you get the players against each other. Because the administration loves when the union people start hating each other. And I think we're hitting that point where I feel like the higher paid players are probably in the conversations, and kind of the lower level players, or even the players who maybe not as vocal, don't know what's going on. So now we got this infighting, and the league is like, yes, let's keep this going.
Keep it going.
What are your odds now on percent up to 100 that this thing gets done, and we have not just it starts late, that we have a season? Because I'm starting to feel this
50-50.
I feel this 1994 baseball strike feeling that I had back then.
You think it's that bad, huh?
I think we get to that point. Yeah.
I still say 50-50. I think cooler heads will prevail, but not till damn end of April, Memorial. Who knows?
Do you think this is the time where Adam Silver needs to step in and go, we're going to sit in a room. I'm going to be in the room. And
I think so. I think we're past that time. I think you should have been did that, but I think after this, after tonight's all-nighter, he's going to need to be in there this weekend.
Well, I almost feel like they didn't want him in the room. I feel like he didn't want to go in the room. I feel like he wanted them to kind of do their own thing and figure out amongst each other and not have the NBA, even though NBA owns, their percent, their 46% or 36%, whatever. He didn't want to come in and be a big brother and be like, what are you guys up to? Which I understand, but at some point, no one is listening. No one's agreeing on anything. You need the other majority owner to come in and go, yo, are y'all profitable? And they made money. They were profitable last year where they were able to put money into a pot for the players. So money's being made. So the argument that they're broke doesn't work anymore. It's a bullshit argument. I think Adam Silver needs to go we need to end this now.
Yep.
Bruce thinks they should just cancel the season.
They're not doing that.
No one's going to watch anyway. We get the World Cup. I'm not watching the World Cup.
Oh, wait a minute. He's got a point now.
I'm not watching. Here's the thing. This is going to go political, but I don't give a shit. FIFA and Gianni Infantino in bed with Trump and when they gave Trump that damn Peace Prize, I'm out. I think I'm done here. I'm completely I can't do what you guys.
I was out when they tried to extort EA for the naming rights.
I remember that. What the Netflix documentary about FIFA turned me off completely. That was like, damn, there's some dirty mofos in that organization, and everybody knows how dirty it is, and no one's ever like, oh well, it's crazy. Bruce also said he moved on from WNBA because the greed killed it for him.
I don't know if it's greed or I don't think it's greed. I just think the players want a little bit more than what they're getting. I mean, they just got chartered flights, for Christ's sakes. Like they're still. They just want to. They want to crawl. They want to walk, but they're still crawling.
But I think it's time. They need to walk, though. I feel like you have a league that's 26 years old.
Yeah.
You built this goodwill. You're the most popular you've ever been in the history of the league. You just signed this major TV deal. Your players are more popular and more recognizable than they ever have been. And it's not just Caitlin Clarkson, Angel Reese's. It's the league as a whole. I feel like there's more players in WNBA besides those two that are recognizable. And I think the players
they're getting way more sponsorships and everything on and off the court.
So I feel like the players we are on the backs of Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo, and Cynthia Cooper, and Tina Thompson. Those are our trailblazers. Now we've stepped it up. Give us what we should get. So I don't think it's greed. I think it's them give us what we deserve at this point. Pay us what we deserve. Okay. Are they asking for too much? Yeah. I think the numbers they're putting out is a little much, but I understand where they're coming from. You're employee, I'm employee. We're not Dame Dash, we're not bosses. We work. We expect to get paid what we deserve to get paid. And if we don't, either we quit and walk out, or we find another place that's going to pay us what we want. They want to play here and not have to go overseas and risk getting locked up like Brittany Griner in Russia for a year and a half. They want to make their money here and build the league more here. Yeah. So pay them what they're worth, but you also don't want to fuck the league over and put them in a hole where they're on the verge of profitability, and then we're back to they're insolvent again in 5 years because they're paying too much money.
Yeah, I think cooler heads will prevail at some point.
Yeah, I hope so, but it better happen. I give it this weekend. If this weekend no agreement is done by Sunday, I think we're looking at you said delayed start. I'm there might not be a season at this stage of the game. Well,
and all the more you need to put the commissioner in there. both commissioners in there just to we need some adults in the room.
I would almost think Kathy Engelbert can't be in the room.
You still think it's still a lot of bad blood in what you said?
I still think her and the Collier thing is still kind of circumventing. I think the players don't really like her. I don't think she's in the room as is now. I think other people are negotiating on behalf of her, but I don't think she's in that room right now. So I think if Adam Silver goes in that room, best believe Kathy Engelbert's not in that room when he walks in.
I can definitely see that.
She can't be at all. Real quick, how do you feel about the WrestleMania? Oh, wow. Okay. Right. Yeah. So my niece is dancing halftime at Barclays on Monday. If you go to the game, you see my niece.
Oh, I'm going to be there Monday.
Oh, there you go. So halftime,
my niece
will be out there dancing in the court. I will not be there because it is far as shit and it's a Monday night.
You know what's funny? I was going to ask you if you want to go, but I know the commute to Brooklyn is a thing for you. So I'm going with my boss on Monday. But that's look at that. Look
funny.
At God.
That is funny.
Look at God. But I will be there on Monday for sure.
I want to go, but if it was a Friday or Saturday, I'll bring my family. We'll trek out there, see my niece. But the Monday night of a school night,
right,
with a 6-year-old in kindergarten and a 3-year-old coming back to Jersey at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. It just feels like it's gonna be an asshole of a day on Tuesday, and I don't know if I can deal with it.
All the more reason why, like I said, I was gonna. You was my first choice, but then I was like, it's a Monday and it's Brooklyn. Had it been the Garden, you would have made the trip.
Yeah, the Garden, I've been there. I'm there on time. Brooklyn, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there by halftime. Have my niece gets on the court to dance. I'm walking in. Like, yo, what's up?
I will make sure to take some good pictures and send some videos.
I bet. Thanks so much. Real quick before we go, how do you feel about the WrestleMania build so far? Because I am bored.
I'm at a crossroads with WWE.
You?
I'm at a crossroads because the build's been terrible. I'm kind of here for some. The best build. Not only has the build been terrible, but you kind of oversold me with Roman and Punk. Like I thought the verbal jar was really good until it sounded weird when he said, "I'm gonna bury you next to your father." What was that? That
was a Christian Cage shit. Like your father's dead. What?
That we didn't need that. And then Usos are like, "Yo, I need you to apologize." And even then, they took a while to punch him. You know why I'm at a crossroads? Because next year they're in Saudi, bombing or non-bombing. They're committed to being in Saudi next year. So I'm already not watching that one. So it's like, dare I say, we need Vince back?
Damn! Wow.
And Triple H
I ain't gonna say all that, but
and it's just. I mean, I heard the prices of tickets are dropping. I'm still not moved to want to go to Vegas. I'd rather go see AEW and what you call it.
No, I want to see it. I'm looking at there's a concert. There's 2 concerts happening. One in Queens and Forest Hills, and then one in Brooklyn that I want to go to in June. I'm not sure I can do the 2 concerts. I'm not sure I can do 2 concerts and an AEW show. That just seems like a lot of negotiation with my wife that I don't want to deal with. I don't put.
You got some time. You got a couple months.
Bruce would rather watch Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano.
I agree. This Mania thing is that, and then we're running Orton, and they kind of pivoted to Orton and Cody because they didn't want to do a fatal 4-way, which I thought the story was going the whole time.
I don't think it's going to be just Cody and Orton. I think there's going to be a third person added to that. It says it for a Drew thing. It says it for a Jacob Fatu. I don't think it's just going to be them 2. There's Sammy's like somewhere in it. It's going to something weird's going to happen between now and then.
It's a clusterfucker over there.
The whole thing is just like, and I have a buddy who works there. He does mainly AAA stuff now because he's like the only one there who speaks Spanish.
Oh shit!
And I don't want to hit him up and be like, "The fuck is going on with you?" But I'm holding back. So I'm like, this has been awful. The Cargill.
A lot of stuff is because of injuries, though. A
Yeah.
lot of stuff is injury because we would have got Cargill and Bianca, which would have made sense.
The Cargill
Division's
Rhea
terrible.
promo was awful. The that promo was terrible. Danhausen's been kind of entertaining, but I've also seen his act, so I'm like, I know Danhausen already.
He's a sports entertainer. He's a sports entertainer.
Yeah, so I'm just like, and AEW is like kind of this right now.
Yeah.
Everything they do is like, okay, it makes sense. The MJF Hangman thing's been going on for years. Okay, that's long-term storytelling. Okay, cool. And then you got this, and the War Dogs from New Japan, and you got this, and Swerve is a heel now. I'm like, oh shit, he was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, everything they're doing just seems like better. I feel like AEW is here, WWE is here. Triple H took over, they flip-flop. Now I think they flip-flop again, where AEW's creative is a little better and makes more sense. WWE's just like, what works? Like, let's just redo the Mania card.
You know how I know they're in a bad spot? Because I actually watched NXT the other night, and I saw Fit Finley, but yet his son is in AEW, but he's over here. That's very telling. Very telling.
Wait, what does his son say? The son did an interview. He's like the best thing that made my father the most famous was having me come off his balls. I'm like, damn. Like,
it's hardcore, man.
All right.
Hardcore.
On that note, we'll end right there. Hey, it was a good show, bro.
Likewise.
All right, so we'll be back. Actually, no, I forgot. Sunday, we'll be back.
Sunday,
March reveal. We will have brackets filled out, and we will tell you who we think is going to advance, who's going to win. And since this is going to be recorded, we will be held to our picks. So we cannot come back and say, whoops, we fucked up. So that's be Sunday night, 8 p.m. So we'll have the men's bracket and who we think is going to win. And then while we're on, we'll tell you what the women's bracket looks like, because that's going to be revealed while we're live on air too. So a lot to get to Sunday. Sunday might be go overtime like tonight, talking about WWE's creative issues. Bruce is back. Bruce will be back on Wednesday. Live Free, Laugh Hard will return. I know Thomas, his mom just passed away in Ireland, so Thomas is off. So, thoughts and prayers for our boy Thomas.
Yes.
So,
indeed.
Still moving on. LLC of this network will happen. So I won't say anything crazy. Lose my house one day. We'll all have ownership of this channel. It'll be really cool. So until Sunday, enjoy the college basketball. We'll see you Sunday night with our brackets. For Jason, I'm Kahlil. Thanks so much. Peace.
Peace.
This has been The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kortner. Subscribe now for the best tri-state area basketball talk.